Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be. We're back here just a little bit more on the Lawson situation and Yuki Tsunoda situation, the Red Bull situation. This is more so about I would call it pandering, double standard, the privileged ability to have said people come to your aid while we have watched other people go through similar or worse situations and nobody says a damn thing, really. What's going on? Good afternoon, Mary Beanie. So with this Lawson situation, it seems that this guy, Guido van der Garde, decides to take a stance on the Lawson situation. And I'm going to say this. What's up, Galactus? What's going on in the live chat? I'm going to say this. What I'm about to show you, I completely disagree with it. I think that the messenger does matter. And we're going to look at the pedigree of the messenger, Guido. We're going to check you out. We're going to look and see what your life was like. So let's take a look at this quote. Let's take a look at this. And this is just one part of it. What's up, Phoenix Black? I see you in the live chat. This guy says, I'm getting a bit tired of all the comments that F1 is the toughest sport in terms of performances. And when you're under-deliver, you've got to face the consequences. How you getting tired of that? It's been said many times, Formula One is the most elite. And this is the guy right here. This is the guy right here. All right, we're going to keep his picture up. It's been said plenty of times that Formula One is the epitome, the pinnacle of motorsports. It's the most elite. It's the most challenging. It's far more challenging than NASCAR, because NASCAR to me ain't nothing but a bunch of left-hand turns and beer. Okay? I'm not saying it doesn't take skill. I'm not saying it doesn't take talent. But I'm telling you, after driving 500 times in a circle, I mean, when are you not supposed to get that shit right? You're making 4 left-hand turns. Eventually, you should get that right. But when you're talking about elevation changes, when you're talking about left and rights, when you're talking about constant radius, increasing radius, decreasing radius turns, when you're talking about S's of all types of different combinations, mediums, large, when you're talking about upward swoops, when you're talking about embankment, when you're talking about a circuit that can truly be challenging throughout that time and the amount of G's on your body in different proportions and ranges, Formula One is that, Guido. So I don't know why you're getting tired of people saying it's the toughest when it comes to performance and delivering, because technically, I guess it is. I guess it would be. And yeah, if you underperform while being oversold, there will always be consequences for that. Now, I'm not going to say everything that everybody says is warranted, because some people can say some things that are pretty outside of the lines, and I don't agree with that. But I am going to say this. When you step up on stage, when you decide that you are going to join such an elite sport at an elite level, yes, criticism is going to come with that. And if you can't take the criticism, then maybe you should think about doing something else with your career. Maybe you should think about the dream that you've had this long lifetime of joining such an elite sport shouldn't have been for you. That's what you should probably consider. So let's keep going. He said, yes, you got to perform. No shit. Yes, the pressure is insane. Duh. But in my opinion, this comes closer to bullying or a panic move than actual high elite achievements. Bullying? Is that where we are now? Lawson is now being bullied? Guido, where the hell were you throughout the entire time you've had to have seen Lewis Hamilton's career? Where in the hell were these statements while Lewis Hamilton was getting called nigger, getting called blackie, getting called other racial epithets, getting called homophobic slurs, having fans literally in the stand dressed in blackface? Where in the hell were your bullying statements then? Now you want to say Lawson, after being oversold while he was, I'm going to say this right now. I do not blame Lawson for accepting this position. I do not discredit Lawson for having this opportunity put in front of him. Lawson is just a driver that's working to try to achieve his dreams. And if an opportunity presented itself for him to drive in Formula One with one of the top teams, who can blame him for saying, yes, I'm going to try it? You can't win if you don't play. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So I don't blame Lim Lawson for taking that shot. But damn it, if you're going to take that shot and it's ass, if you're going to throw a 60-yard bomb pass and it walks like a duck, you're going to get talked about, period, especially when you flick off a senior driver. Especially when you come up and you talk as if you have the cachet to drive just like Max Verstappen, and then we see you on track and it looks nothing like that. You don't even look as good as Gasly right now, bro. And that's not saying a lot for you. So I cannot believe that this guy said this looks like bullying. That is ridiculous. Guido, are you out of your damn mind? No, you're not out of your mind. You know, I got to remember where you're from. I got to remember where you're from. We're going to talk about that, Guido. We're going to talk about you because the messenger does matter. So he says they made a decision, fully aware. Now, I do want to get back to that. A panic move than actual high elite athlete achievements. I will say this. Guido's right about that. Do I think that this is a panic move from Red Bull? Yeah, I do think this is a bit of a panic move. Do I think that the move is still warranted? Yeah, because this is not uncommon for Red Bull. And Guido, I got to ask you this, because I'm gonna wait to ask you this other question. But yeah, as far as this being a panic move, surely, because they're concerned while this driver that they thought was going to be a miraculous pairing of a number 2 best suited has not performed, has not collected any points, and they do not want to miss out on the Constructors' Championship again, which equates to a lot of dollars. So yeah, Guido, you know what they probably said? We're going to make these moves sooner than later. We need to find something sooner than later. And you know what? Red Bull having 4 teams and 4 drivers, 2 teams, 4 cars, they're going to have that ability. They can move that around. I'm just saying. So let's continue on. He says they made a decision, fully aware, gave Lim 2 races only to crush his spirits. All right, so Guido, Vandergarden, let me ask you this. I don't hate saying this, but I say this begrudgingly because I don't really like to agree with Red Bull, but you just got to keep it real when you got to keep it real. Red Bull gave him a performing car. Red Bull is one of the top teams. I don't think it applies here that Red Bull was sabotaging Lim Lawson at all, even on a conspiracy theory level. Red Bull did not force Lim Lawson to have these mistakes. Red Bull did not have Lim Lawson finish in these races where he finished. Red Bull didn't tell Lim Lawson, we want you to go out here and get no points. Lim Lawson's performance is what has led to this situation. Red Bull has not crushed Lim. They gave him a position over another driver that deserved the position more so. Why aren't you talking about Yuki? Why haven't you said anything about Yuki Tsunoda being bullied or being looked over or not being given a fair opportunity? Because Yuki has been there proving, getting the team points, even in the 6-race span that Lim Lawson and he were teammates at the junior team. Lim Lawson underperformed according to Yuki because Yuki outscored him on points. So where is your quote for Yuki and your sympathetic empathy for Yuki? Where's that? Does it only exist for Lim Lawson or Lim Lawson types? Or maybe it only exists for birds of a feather flock together for your performance was shit, bro. And we're going to look at your performance. I looked up your records. I looked up your span and your time since they decided to put down here that you were a former F1 driver. So, I had to go look at the file. So we're going to check and see what kind of driver you were. So don't forget the dedication, hard work, and success Lim has put into his career so far to achieve the level of where he is now. Nobody's forgetting that. We all watched it. We all thought Lim Lawson showed some promise. I don't think many of us, at least I didn't think he showed enough body of work to be automatically promoted to Red Bull over Yuki. But hey, it's debatable. You take what you want to take from it. I'm just taking real factual stats, data and performance and growth within the team. And Lim Lawson does not compare to Yuki on any standard If you look at the paper, if you look at the growth, if you look at who's been in the team and who's been doing the most, it's not Liam Lawson. But guess what, Guido? We're going to take a look at you. Let's take a look at Guido. Let's see what kind of driver he was, because maybe he was this elite driver in Formula One. Therefore, his words have a bit more weight than even mine. Definitely more than mine. He drove in Formula One, but let's see what kind of driver he was. So, Guido, you're from the Netherlands. The Dutch flag flies. So maybe Supermax, Dutch Max called on a super favor, says, hey, please support Liam Lawson. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it, but I'm just joking on that. But we're going to go ahead and continue. So as we look right here, Guido, you had one damn season in Formula One. Bro, you had one season in Formula One. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? That means either you had a traumatic incident and you couldn't keep driving, or you sucked. That's what that means. There's only two ways to go about that. You sucked ass, or you had a situation that kept you from driving in Formula One. You got one season under your belt. Your best result ever in Formula One is 14th. That means while you raced in Formula One, you didn't score one damn point, bro. You're not a hero. You're a goddamn zero. And I do mean by factual standards. You didn't score any points during your time in Formula One. Not one. Nothing. Matter of fact, the best stat you have in Formula One is 4 retirements. Do you know what that stands for? It stands for your ass didn't finish races. That's the best stat you got. 4 retirements in the sport of Formula One. As a matter of fact, your driver championship standings is 22nd. Bro, there are 20 drivers on the grid. How in the hell are you 22nd? You know why? Because you didn't do shit. You didn't do nothing. 20 drivers are on the grid in Formula One during any time in a race until we get to next season while we have other teams coming in. That means in a season, you didn't even place in the 20th top drivers. You're not even last. You last. You last. Because 20th is last. 21st is last. You 22nd, so that means you last. You're a 3-time loser, bro. A 3-time loser. Okay, so I'm going to give you an opportunity. Let's look at something else. Let's look at something else, because we don't have no more stats to look at. You don't have any pole positions. You don't have any fastest laps. You don't have any wins. You don't have any top 3 podium finishes. You don't even have a top 10 finish. Your best grid position is 14th, and you didn't go nowhere. So you stayed right there where the hell you was. Right there. Bro, what are we doing right now? What in the hell are we doing right now? What? Okay, you know what? But I said this must not tell the full story. Must not tell the full story. It can't tell the full story. So I said, you know what? Let's go look and find good old Guido. Let's go look and see a little bit more about his time in Formula One. Hey man, you did this to yourself. So right now, as it stands, Yuki was kicking your ass in standards. Yuki is kicking the hell out of you. Liam Lawson is even probably kicking the hell out of you, and that ain't saying a lot. But Yuki is kicking your ass. If you put your record together, Liam Lawson's record together, even from last season, you still getting beat. Yuki beating both of y'all. Yuki done already beat Nick DeVries. Yuki done already beat Danny Ricciardo. Yuki right now outperformed Liam Lawson last season, and he's damn sure outperforming him this season. Liam Lawson bro. Let's just look at it, man, because I get tired of people that have these conditional moments where they want to support people and then you want to call it bullying. I don't think if you had not called it bullying, I'd be going in this hard on you. But the fact that you call it bullying definitely put some privileged ingredients in there. This is not bullying. This is fair criticism. Did you not watch Drive to Survive? Liam Lawson, as he should, with his chest out and with confidence, he should definitely promote himself. He should definitely never get on the mic and say, I'm going to be last or I'm whack. He should never do that. You should never do that. But I'm going to tell you something. Your body of work is what really will speak facts later on. So regardless of where your confidence is, matter of fact, you can be the most losingest driver in Formula One and still have confidence. But at the end of the day, we're going to talk shit about what you actually did. And I'm going to tell you this, when your spectrum is so skewed to what you talk and what you actually do, yeah, you're going to get a lot more heat than that. I'm going to fire you up. I'm going to fire your ass up all the time. So let's look at this. Right here, we got a little bit about Guido and his Formula One experience, his opportunity, okay? Right here, we see he won his first Renault championship, 2008 3.5 Series. After 4 seasons and several wins in GP2, Guido signed for Caterham in 2013. All right, he signed, got into Formula One 2013 right there. Congratulations, Guido. 2013, you made it into Formula One. Congratulations. Now, let's see what happened after that. All right, having previously tested for Super, Ajuri, and Spiker, as well as being a member of the McLaren Young Drivers Program in 2006, Guido made his first Formula One debut at the Australian GP. But Caterham failed to score points all season. All season. Failed to score points with the CT03. With Guido finishing a career best 14th in Hungary, failing to retain his seat for 2014, he signed as a reserve driver at Sauber. After that, multi-million pound settlement after Van der Salt international arbitration. He moved to sports car racing, so he's out of Formula One. That's your story, bro. That's your story. That's Guido. That's the guy. So you know what? It said, matter of fact, look at these stats right here, people. Look at these stats. Look at these stats for his active career in Formula One. 19 starts, 0 championships, 0 wins, 0 podiums, 0 career points. That means you ain't scored not a damn point your whole career, 0 pole positions, 0 fastest lap. You are literally a zero, not a hero. You don't have any business trying to save Lawson with such verbiage as this is bullying. This is not bullying. This is fair criticism based on what we were sold, what Lawson gave us as expectations, what he would do in Formula One, and it has looked tragic since. Guido, I wish your ass was driving right now. I don't even know. You probably went home and cried. Your last day in Formula One. You should probably go back and look at your career and say to yourself, how did I feel? What did I say? And then compare that against the body of work that you laid down in Formula One. And then think to yourself, yeah, I might have been a little off on what I thought I could do. But at least I tried. That's all you need to say. That's all you should probably say. I'm never going to tell anybody to quit. You know, I might tell you after you fail so many times, you should reconsider some things and give it a go in something else. I don't want to tell you to quit because I don't like quitting myself, but damn, there comes a point where you got to kind of just self-reevaluate and kind of pivot. You know, maybe my skills are not as good here, which your skills surely weren't. So I think right now you kind of having this thought of yourself and how you felt when you sucked in Formula One, and you're forgetting that any criticism that you got was because you sucked. It was because you sucked. Same right now, Lawson has a very good opportunity. And this is what I would say for Lawson, man. The criticism is going to come. It's here. All right. You faced it. I think you can get by it. But unlike Guido, your career is not over. You've had more seasons in Formula One than Guido. So please, Lawson, do not take any strong motivation from Guido's quote because you're not being bullied, bro. You're just being fairly criticized. But you know what you can do? You can turn this around. You're not out of Formula One. You're just in the junior team now. You've driven there before. You might be more comfortable there. As a matter of fact, you might realize that although you have the driving ability and the potential, that you mentally were not able to handle the pressure that comes with being in a top performing team. And maybe that got to you. I don't know if that's facts. I'm just trying to give you an opportunity. So go into VCARB, Racing Bulls, whatever the hell they want to call it now, the junior Red Bull team, and go show out. Go perform your best. Show people that, you know what, I might have bit off more than I could chew, but I'm getting it back together and I'm going to be back soon. That's the best thing you can do. The worst thing you can do is get self-absorbed in this Guido take for him talking about you being bullied and start doing the cry party. Don't start crying. Don't start looking for sympathy. Don't start thinking that you're being bullied. Don't start thinking that this criticism is unfair. Although some people out there might be saying some very unfair and tragic things. I'm not with that. I don't agree with that. I can say some harsh things too, but I think even when I say some harsh things, there's some relative elements there that might support what I'm saying. Okay. I could be an asshole. I know that. But Lim, I'm telling you, you still got an opportunity here. Okay. No, I don't think you should have got the job over Yuki. No, I don't think you were more deserving than Yuki for the Red Bull seat. No, I don't think at this point in time you're a better driver than Yuki. But you can show us that you can be. You still got a chance this week coming up in Japan. Show people that, hey, I'm going to get it back together. Yuki's on the hot seat now. I'm one person that thought, and I still do, that Yuki should have had the opportunity before Lim. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it a buck. If Yuki get in here and he underperforms, I'm going to heat him up too. But I'm also going to have some questions for Red Bull because I think it's fair at this point in time because I'm all about common denominators. And I'm all about if certain things are happening to one individual, whilst they are engaging in actions among multiple people, what's more likely? That all these people that you're having this situation, similar encounters with, are the problem or you are the problem? It's like dating, right? It's like it comes to dating. We can break it down to this because everybody's dated. You know, regardless of what you date, you dated. And if you as a person always end up having a friend that comes to you with dating problems after 5 or 6 relationships, and it seems like the same story, the same problem, the same thing we're crying about, you got to say to yourself as a friend, and you got to tell your other friend, you got to keep it real with them. You've dated 5 or 6 different people, and all throughout these encounters that you've had, we've had the same or similar conversation. So it's either miraculously 6 different people grown up in 6 different ways of life, born by 6 different families, raised in 6 different locations, somehow, some way have all of the same personality traits that have given you this issue, or you are the problem. It is your personality type that you are picking these individuals that have these problems, that have these character issues, and you end up having these problems. What's more likely, chap? What's more likely? Come on now. You got to start keeping it real with your people. It's more likely that the common denominator, you are the problem. You're picking people that you shouldn't be picking to date. You're picking people with similar personality traits, and this is why you're ending up in the same result. You know what? The true definition of insanity. Doing the same damn thing over and over again, and somehow you expect a different result. That could be Red Bull. Very well could be Red Bull. So, hey, this weekend is going to be a very, very, very awesome event to watch. Yuki in home, Japan, Honda, finally in the Red Bull car, which I'm kind of skeptical about the timing and in which they've done this. And I do think it's a hidden trap door somewhere, but maybe it's fair. But either way it goes, Lawson, go out there, perform, get yourself together, and become a good driver in Formula One, or even one of the best drivers in Formula One if it's ever possible. It's a hard feat to do that. Yuki, you got your opportunity. Take the bull by the horns, no pun intended, but intended, and show everybody that this is why I should have been promoted a long time ago. I don't know what's going to happen, but we all going to watch and see what happens. I can tell you that. So big shout out to everybody in the live chat. Phoenix Black, Mary Beanie, Galactus, Dave's Quattro. Who else did we have in here? We had somebody else in here earlier, but big shout out to you all. And once again, rest in power, Jesse James Bell, the Black Ace. And I will see you all soon because we are in a race weekend, race week leading into the race weekend. So trust me, a lot of things going to be coming out. We're going to try to watch quality. We're kind of going to be on the same time frame, 0-100, 0-300, and so forth. We will also be doing Wolves Den that Sunday to talk about the Japanese GP and talk about, I figured we wait because this weekend we're going to do, but I said, you know what, let's wait because then we'll have more to talk about the switch of Yuki and Lawson, then the Japanese GP and the car. We'll have a lot more to talk about coming up this Sunday. So we will see what happens. Appreciate you all. Guido, I'm just going to tell you, you keep talking. You got to talk. You know, I don't like when people tell me to shut the hell up, but you're way off on this bullying situation. And I think the messenger matters here. And you were a poor driver in Formula One. Actually, you sucked in Formula One. And I'm just going to say that. And I don't have any reserve about saying it. You sucked in Formula One, man. You sucked. I mean, you did suck. You sucked. So, I mean, it just is what it is. There's all different levels of performance, and you was on the sucking end. There's the greatest, Lewis Hamilton, the GOAT, Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton, for sure to go over Schumacher because he's achieved more in his time. And then there's just the trash. And like I said, you was last. So if that ain't trash, I don't know what is. So, bro, but at least you got there. At least you got there. You know, it's something to be said when you get there. You got there. So evidently you had some ability that somebody looked into and said, let's give him a shot. So you got there. Hey, credit to you. Credit to you. You did good in GP2 and Renault 3.5. So you definitely did something on your way. But when you got to the big show on the big stage, you fell apart. But at least you got there, man. So congratulations. Congratulations. All right, chat. See y'all soon. Wolfpack out.